Client success. Appeal 1, although the sponsor died during the process. Case overview, navigating a complex path to successful appeal. Our client came to the UK with her daughter to visit her mother, who is an EU citizen. While here, she and her daughter decided to stay as her mother's dependents. The daughter's application was successful. She was granted pre-settled status as a granddaughter. However, our client's application was refused because the Home Office was unsatisfied with the dependency. The challenge: lack of documentation of dependency in the UK. Our client's mother was a pensioner with limited income. She was not used to making bank transfers or using a card for payments because of her dementia. Unfortunately, this posed a challenge, as she could not provide a paper trail of financial support and present dependency on her sponsor. We appealed against the decision. During the appeal, our client's EU sponsor passed away. Our strategic approach for a successful appeal. To overcome the initial decision, we assisted our client in gathering evidence of money remittance when she lived outside the UK. In addition, we assisted our client in obtaining a letter from the local authority confirming that they were supporting her and her daughter after the death of her mother. This evidence was crucial as it corroborated the client's case that she was a dependent before the sponsor died. The outcome: appeal allowed. Our client's appeal was allowed because the court accepted her evidence of past and recent dependency on the deceased sponsor. As her sponsor was deceased, her appeal was also allowed under the retained right of residence. Key takeaways: understanding how to use past dependency and current need for support to prove that it was more likely that our client was dependent on her mother sponsor. Even when her appeal was nearly undermined by the death of her mother sponsor, we turned the loss into another possible route for the retention of her EU rights. Although dependency was the main issue before the court was convinced that local authority support became necessary because their support from the sponsor was no longer available with the death of her mother, our sponsor. You must also draw on oral and documentary evidence in appeal cases to build a convincing narrative. In appeals, the appellant must show that she was a dependent, burden of proof. The standard of proof is that of reasonable likelihood. Facing complex immigration issues? Contact BWF Solicitors today.